She drove 10 hours away to spend the weekend with this guy she met online. For whatever reason, while she was gone, I got into her iCloud account and noticed a bunch of recently deleted photos. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, can hear a story titled, My Wife Drove 10 Hours to Spend the Weekend with Another Man. And guys, this story is all about a guy. He is 39 years old. Wife is 36. They've been together for like 16 years and married for 14. And they have 2 kids. And you're going to see, guys, long story short, after what he thought was a pretty good marriage, things started going south with his wife when they had some family issues with their kids and all that. They became distant, became like roommates. And lo and behold, one day, she said she was going to go spend the weekend with one of her friends. Her friend was opening up a salon or some damn thing. And he finds out, one way or another, that she actually spent the weekend, 4 days, with another man. And she claims, after getting caught, oh, nothing happened. He's just a friend. Sure. And you're going to see, guys, how he gives her a second chance. Crazy, but he does. And how it is just one thing after another with her jerking him around, twisting things around, making him out to be the bad guy, etc., etc. And initially, he pretty much was ready to kick her out, but then, she pulls her crap. And this story is really about many things. One, what not to do, as you're going to see what he does. Where she just jerks him around, gaslights, manipulates, all that, and he takes it over and over again. Also, how when a woman loses respect for a guy, she sure as hell ain't going to love him. And if he keeps acting weak in her eyes, she'll punish him as at an absolute disdain and disgust for his weakness. And how a guy, even if his wife or girlfriend's cheating on him, you can't stay with someone like that. When there's no trust in a relationship and cheating, I might add, it's over. And sure, children complicate things, of course, but you can't be with someone like that. It's only going to make you miserable, make the household miserable. Your boys, your kids will grow up in a household just like that with turmoil. If that's all they observe and know. So it's best to cut ties and move on. But this guy here, you're going to see that it's almost comical, the crap she pulls on him, and he keeps just coming back for more. Says here, so I'm very new to all this, but I feel like I have a pretty crazy story to share. You're not kidding, dude. I need some help from the people that have had to unfortunately deal with this type of thing as well. I apologize beforehand for the wall of text. Some background information. I'm 39 years old. My wife is 36. We've been together for 16 years, married for 14, and we have 2 boys together, 12 and 9. My wife and I have always gotten along very well in the past. Keyword, the past. And maybe not as well as you may think, given her current behavior. There's obviously been arguments or disagreements, but we never fight. We've always been able to communicate pretty effectively. Past tense. My wife is a hairstylist by trade. Right there is a red flag, and you all know what I mean. And I am a nurse. Greg Fokker. She was also an educator for a major brand name and really enjoyed what she did. For me, I've continued to grow my career, and about 4 to 5 years ago, I accepted a director role. Cool. Congratulations. During this time, I was making good money, and since my wife is a hairstylist, typical work hours are evenings and weekends, she was missing out on a lot of time with our boys. So we made the decision for her to be a stay-at-home mom for the boys, but keep her education role because she truly loved it. Then COVID hit, and no more education job now either. Once COVID slowed a bit, I took another promotion. So now I'm making really good money, and we're not concerned that she isn't working. Oh, good for him for moving up in his position. That's what a man should do. Then boom, September 2020, our oldest is diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. This is a huge lifestyle change for us, and ultimately caused a lot of stress and anxiety and depression for both of us. Hey, that's understandable. So over the past few years, we've slowly grown apart. Date nights disappeared totally for the next 2 years. We were afraid of leaving him with other people, but we're getting much better at that now. We both became distant to each other and kind of became roommates during this time instead of partners. Well, this is a typical thing that happens with married couples after a while, even if there isn't stress and anxiety with the kids and things like that. And yeah, they become like roommates, and that's it. At best, that's it. Otherwise, they'll be fighting and screaming and carrying on. But usually when this types of thing happen, guys, either people break up or there's cheating. I'm not saying every time, but usually something happens. During all this, I am 100% accepting the fact that I wasn't the best husband. I kind of left her on an island, and I wish I could have changed it, but unfortunately I cannot. I was there physically, but I wasn't there emotionally. Since she wasn't working, I expected her to take care of our son's blood sugar during the night, since I had to be up early for work. I expected her to do household chores during the day. On the flip side, she began to resent me for not helping around the house or helping as much at night with crazy blood sugars. Hang on here. If this guy's working full time, and she doesn't have to go to work, and it's not like they have little kids. They have older kids. Yes, the one's type 1 diabetic, and obviously extra attention and care, but still, this is manageable, obviously. Then she should be doing the absolute majority of the household chores, grocery shopping, cooking, all that, helping the kids with their homework, you get the point, and obviously the things at nighttime with the son. And if this guy's to get up early, then he shouldn't be waking up in the middle of the night to do those things. He can help out when he can, but you get my point. So already you can see the mind fucking that she has towards him. For a couple that had once been great at communicating, we no longer communicate at all. We'd high-five at the door with busy work schedules and super busy sports schedules with our boys and stop taking time for each other. Well, you can see where the problems are coming from. And if yes, I'm not a parent, so I don't know what this is like, but obviously raising children is very demanding. School, sports schedules, you name it. But they got to have time for each other to do things, hang out, and of course, hook up, have sex. And if he isn't doing her, some other guy eventually will. But to make it out that he's the one all in the wrong here, that's bullshit. During all this, my wife began playing video games with our boys called Fortnite. She really enjoyed it and started playing even when the boys were not. She'd play late at night after I went to bed, and she would stay up sometimes all night playing while she monitored our son's blood sugar. It got to the point that she would literally be playing when I got up, got home from work, and went to bed. This is like reminds me of the show The Big Bang Theory. I watched that back in the day, where the character Penny one time got hooked on playing some computer game and was like playing 24/7, didn't sleep, didn't eat, didn't take a shower. If you guys saw the show, you remember that one? No. Okay, Mom, you need to get up, turn off the fucking video games, get back to helping out around the house and taking care of things. I'm not doing it all. It says here, with this game, she created an online group of friends. Now we're in trouble. And over the past 6 months, this group of 5 to 6 people would play together all the time. You're a grown-ass woman. Stop playing all the fucking time video games and everything, for God's sakes. This is where the infidelity begins. She befriended this one guy in particular. I didn't find this out until later, but she was chatting with him on Instagram regularly. There you go. She sent him a gift in the mail, and then she made up this huge lie to go visit him. She told me one of her friends from her days as an educator was opening a new salon and was wondering if my wife could come for the weekend and help with a grand opening. My wife told me this story, and having zero reason not to believe or trust her, I was totally okay with it. There were other red flags going on. Obviously, she's not happy. Obviously, you're not hooking up or anything like that. Communication's bad. She's playing all this time on these freaking video games. Grow the hell up, lady. You got a family that needs you to take care of. He's not working all the time, so she can sit on her ass and play video games all the time and talking to other people. She drove 10 hours away to spend the weekend with this guy she met online. For whatever reason, while she was going, I got into our iCloud account and noticed a bunch of recently deleted photos. Oh, photos, huh? My heart sank when I saw them. Nothing sexual, but I now knew what was happening. She essentially shut her phone off the entire trip and barely communicated with me or the boys while she was gone for 4 days. So, obviously, she needs to... It would make sense as a mother who loves her kids, particularly one that obviously has a health problem, to keep her phone on in case of emergencies or anything like that, and she's shutting it off. What do you think she's doing with this guy? Right? Making s'mores? Playing board games? No. They're hooking up left and right at the fucking hotel. Ultimately, she came home, lied about the trip, and I confronted her about what was really going on. It took her a few hours, but she finally came clean about what she did. A few hours, that's a long time of her saying nope, 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 denying it. She is adamant that it was solely a friendship, that nothing sexual happened, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. She left and spent the weekend with another man. Exactly. That's it. We're done. End of story. It's not like we've been very happy for the last few years anyway. You're a liar. I can't trust you. Even if you weren't. Even if you were there was no romance going on, which there's no way there wasn't. Regardless, she obviously was out with another guy. This is her boyfriend. She's testing the waters for this guy's replacement. That's what's going on here. Pack your bags and get the fuck out. The trip happened about 6 weeks ago. After the initial shock, we actually had some great conversations. We opened up about how we ended up where we are, how we got into this place in our relationship. It truly was the best conversation we had in years. During all this, she never tried to downplay what she did. She took 100% responsibility for her actions, and through all of that, we decided that we were going to try and make it work. We decided? Something tells me that we was more like she decided. And I think the only reason she was taking accountability for all this is because she could tell you weren't kicking her out. So she's like, okay, I can play the role of being honest here. Well, she's not being really honest, but having conversation, accepting my blame, because he's not throwing me out yet. We both said we loved each other and that divorce is not what either of us wanted. I also started seeing a therapist during that time as well. If not, I think I would have lost my mind. No. If there were issues, she should have talked to him before she was doing this. She was feeling neglected, lonely, whatever. Okay, fine, that can happen in a marriage. But you communicate before you're doing anything. Her actions simply disqualified her from that whole song and dance. The one thing that I asked her to do, now pay attention to this, after all this, was to please block 100% of contact with this guy. Smack. I should have smacked him earlier. Please block this guy. No. There's going to be, if we're going to be married, and me give you a second chance, you are going to block this guy. You are going to do this, and this. Not please, please, please. It makes him look like a dumb bitch. She agrees. Ultimately, she deleted Fortnite and she deleted all her social media apps. Fast forward to 2 to 3 weeks ago, we were driving to my son's baseball game and I noticed she has her Snapchat on her phone. Oh, wait a second. I thought she was going to delete all her social media. I guess it would have been better for him to tell him what she's going to do, not say please. I look at her phone and I say, is that Snapchat? She quickly denies it. Once we get to the game, I walk up behind her and she's logging out of Snapchat. So I just walk away. She finds me, apologizes, and hands me her phone and begs me to look through it. That doesn't exactly work now that you were able had a moment to go on your phone, uninstall Snapchat, cover your tracks. No thanks. But I'm not interested at this point. Later that night we argue about it and I tell her to get out of the house. There you go. Ultimately, cooler heads prevail and she stays. Smack! She now has it 100% confirmed that you're going to cave every time. And you're going to see more. Watch all the disrespect, more incidents of disrespect come now that she has this guy's number. Knows that this guy, he's got nothing backing his threats. Fast forward to the next week, and I decided to stalk this guy's TikTok account. And who do I see? One of his followers? My wife. This leads to another huge fight where I tell her she needs to go and I want a divorce. Do you think she's going to believe you? We slept in separate beds that night, and again, I didn't pull the trigger and push the issue of her leaving. Smack! You can't trust her. She's obviously found your replacement. She hasn't quite decided what to do yet, or is just biding her time. End it with her. Go talk to an attorney. Find your options, good, bad, or ugly, and kick her ass to the curb. It says here, now, fast forward just a few days ago, I bust her again playing Fortnite with this guy online. What'd I tell you? This is like Charlie Brown, where in Charlie Brown, Lucy would hold the football for Charlie and convince him to go run up and kick the ball, and he runs up and kicks the ball, and just at the last second before he kicks the ball, she pulls the football away, and he falls on his ass, And then she convinced him to do it again. And he's like, okay, fine. He runs up. She pulls the ball away again. He falls on his ass. Over. This is right here. She's Lucy. He's dumbass Charlie Brown. No respect for this guy. But why should she? She knows he's not going to back up what he says. Right here, guys. Real life example. I actually took a look at her phone later that night as well and see a message to one another of her online friends that says, the husband, so ridiculous. I wish he would get on so we could all play together. Another huge fight happens. This time I say, I'm done. I pack up my shit and leave and spend the night at my brother's place. Smack. Now you're leaving. You're leaving comfort of your own home because of her shit. Ultimately, I'm sleeping back at our house. We had tickets for my youngest son to attend his first ever MLB game Saturday night, and we had amusement park tickets for today. So for the boys, we did all these things together. We had another long talk this morning. She said that the only way this works is if I get my anger outburst under control, which I agree is not a healthy in any capacity. Smack. Your anger outburst is a reaction to her cheating, to her deceit, okay? She's twisting around, making you out to be the bad guy, and you're buying into this bullshit. She knows deep down you don't want to get a divorce. She knows the cards you're playing with. Have some fucking balls, dude, and some self-respect. And so I started snooping through her phone again, even though she told me she was an open book and left her phone unlocked so I could look through if I wanted to. So I did get a hold of my therapist today, and he referred me again to anger management group session, which I signed up for this Wednesday night. Dude, you're a moron. You don't need anger management. You need to speak to an attorney. That's what you need. She told me again that she would cut him out and would stop playing Fortnite because it wasn't worth it. She said she wanted to go to marriage counseling, and she said she still doesn't want to get divorced. Why would she want to get divorced? She's got it made with you. She doesn't have to work. You do all the working. She gets the house, can play Fortnite and talk to her lover, and plan the next meetup. It's a bad deal for her to get a divorce, and you're too dumb to freaking kick her out. I woke up 3 hours ago, 2 o'clock in the morning, and walked downstairs, and she's sitting on the couch doing what? Playing Fortnite. Granted, she wasn't playing with that guy, but I bet she would have been if he would have been online too. She literally told me that morning that she was never going to play again, and here we are. I'm done fighting over it. I just told her good night and walked away. He should have ripped the freaking control thing out of her hand. Actually, she would have used that against him, but done something like to disable the Fortnite and pack your shit. But he literally could do all that, and she's still probably laughing in his face, just like Lucy with the football. She knows he's not going to do anything. I'm not going to lie. I've been very overbearing towards her for the past 6 weeks, and this ever since she has returned. Smack. As a response, a reaction to her cheating and lying and messing with you. Stop taking blame. She's gotten in your head, dude. Obviously, I have lost all trust in her. I want to know every move she makes, where she's going, who she is going with. This has been really frustrating for her as well. Oh, well, poor her. And I get it, but I don't know how to get past this part of it. All I know is there any chance of making it past this. I've been able to step back a bit, but it has been really hard for me to figure out how to do that, or if I even should. So I'm not sure how this will end up, but I think I have a pretty good feeling of where we are heading. I hate it too because I truly still love her, and I think she really does still love me. Smack! No, she doesn't. Her actions have made it abundantly clear she doesn't love you. But I don't know if we are in love anymore. I'll update as we go, but I'm not sure if counseling will be able to help us at this point. Dude, it's over, okay? Her actions have made abundantly clear you're a joke to her, treats you with absolute disrespect, and it gets worse and worse and worse. All these promises she breaks them. And this is not like she has a video game or Fortnite addiction. It's about the guy, okay? Fine, you guys have problems in your marriage. It happens. The problem is, instead of communicating with you as an adult, as someone who loves you like you think she does, which she doesn't, she decided to cheat, have an affair. And believe me, she wasn't playing board games and making s'mores, like I said, with that guy. She was sucking his you-know-what for 4 days and then lying to you about it and so on and so forth. She's not dropping him. No, she's not willing to drop him, but she's willing to screw you around and your family. And she's also cheating on your boys, I might add. This is what you do. You wake up to reality talk to an attorney, find out your options, good, bad, or ugly, and make a plan of action and kick her to the curb. Maybe talk to a few attorneys in town so she can consult them. Yes, you're the breadwinner. You bring in all the money. And yes, you're going to take a hit. It is what it is. But she's cheating. You have evidence of this. Hopefully you're in an at-fault state. And if you're not, take the hit and move on. Your boys are old enough that, that it's not like they're very little kids and won't be able to understand. They're old enough to understand. And you take it day by day and you'll be able to recover. But just putting up with this is no life. This is a bad example for your sons, because your sons obviously can see her disrespecting you. And children are very aware of things that are going on in their family. And if you let her walk all over you like this and disrespect you, your boys one day will seek out relationships just like this. That's the odds. Maybe they may be so disgusted with you, where this guy could be like George McFly in the beginning of Back to the Future, where George McFly was being walked over by everybody. He was told pussy. And Marty McFly was the exact opposite of his dad. Then Marty went in the past, he changed the past. In the future, George had a pair and his wife loved and respected him. I'm talking about old George McFly in the beginning of the movie. Either the boys will seek out relationships just like this, and the women will walk all over him and treat him like shit and have a shitty marriage, or they'll have the exact opposite reaction, don't want to be like you. But either way, it's not good for them. Better part ways and move on, end of story. You can do it. But staying with this is ridiculous. And she's laughing at you. Anyway, guys, that's what I think. So there you go, guys. That's an example of what not to do and what happens when a guy doesn't stand his ground and says what he means and means what he says. How women will, okay, motherfucker, I know you're not going anywhere. And this is what you get. And, of course, paying attention to red flags and all that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comment section. He may not read it or see it, but maybe he will. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.